guys, welcome to Outlaw Edge. So today's gonna be something a little bit different. I'm trying to work on Rogue. I got like the 4 panels and stuff, getting ready to weld those in and whatever. And then Aaron came in and he was wanting some stuff welded up, and I'll show you what we're gonna be welding. Let me flip the camera around. So it's a 1962 McCulloch. It's all been restored, and when I say restored, it wasn't like some 100-point restoration or nothing. It was just like a garage restoration, but I mean, it turned out beautiful. A lot of the stuff, like the cap and the steering wheel and a couple things, are aftermarket. And then you guys have seen Gene Shadley in our shop before in those videos, that world famous knife maker. Well, he actually, Aaron didn't have one of the pedals, so Gene went and reproduced this pedal and actually handmade this, and it's flawless, all poured, and the guy's just amazing. If you haven't seen the videos with Gene Shadley on there, go check them out. They're on my YouTube channel. There's some of the older ones. And we're getting this all set up so that we can hang it on the wall of the shop. And what we're gonna do is, this somehow rattled or whatever and it got broken, so I'm gonna take a die grinder and clean this up, get it all smooth, and so it doesn't have any burrs or edges or whatever. And then we're gonna TIG weld across here, but for some reason it's like pushed over and kind of pulled up right there. So that's what we're working on today. I gotta get everything all taped off. That way when I'm TIG welding it, it doesn't burn any edges or whatever. But I'll probably set up the tripod and then go from there. So the story with this go-kart, Aaron was asking me, I think he was asking me about, if I knew anybody that had a go-kart or whatever, and I actually knew of somebody right here in town. And we went over and helped him get the go-kart down out of the rafters and stuff. It was on like these big shelves or rafters, whatever you want to call them, and pulled it down. We ended up getting this thing for 50 bucks. And then Aaron spent hours and got all this stuff all straightened out. It was like literally just beat to hell, Everything on the thing was broken. He ended up, a lot of the stuff was broken. He ended up welding it all back together and putting it back together and whatever, and cleaning it up. And this is, like I said, it's a 1962 McCulloch with a McCulloch chainsaw motor. I think it's 90 cc if I remember correctly. And he tricked it out and put some real trick throttle linkage and stuff in it. This is the gas tank here, and this was original, and this is the thing that's worth a lot of money, I guess. And he took the original magnesium wheels off, kept those, put some aftermarket ones on here. Obviously just so the original ones don't get damaged. These are kind of collector's items and whatever. And then he put like almost like a K&N style filter on it, and new sprocket and bearings and tires, and spent a little bit of money on it, and set it up with a nice clutch and everything. And the thing just hauls ass, and it works really well. And then he painted it, something close to the original yellow. And the steering wheel's aftermarket. All new Heim joints, and I think the spindles, if I remember correctly, I think those were original. The frame is completely original. The bracket, this is the motor bracket. He ended up getting this off eBay. This is like a collector guy that had McCulloch chainsaw motors on go-karts, on the old McCulloch go-karts. He had a bracket, and then Aaron ordered this bracket, and then he welded it all together, and then new chain and just new everything, and all the original brackets and linkage and everything, they were all bent up and everything real bad. So he straightened all that stuff up and cleaned it up, made it look nice. But it just turned out trick. It's fun to ride too. I mean, the thing gets up and moves. And like I said, we're gonna out at the other shop at Anderson's, we're gonna probably hang this up on the wall, and then in the summertime we could all pull it down and jam around on the property or whatever. But it's a blast. It's fun to ride, or fun to drive, But I have prep all right here, and this stuff's all dirty and nasty right here. I'm gonna wipe this whole thing down real quick, kind of wash it up so I can tape everything off, so I can get to this and grind it and clean it. But I don't want to get sparks and welding crap all over this, so I'll go ahead and get this thing all cleaned up real quick. So this thing sat out at the other shop probably about 3 years. And it sat up on top of the welding table like it is here on this welding table. But it sat covered up, but still got filthy dirty. And the flies crapped all over it. It's got like fly crap everywhere because the flies out at the other shop are just horrendous in the summertime. Still got these little black dots everywhere. So we'll probably have to touch up the paint really good, make it look a little bit nicer. But it's getting there. So I have these floor mats, and I stuff those in there and just kind of put them in there so that, you know, the welding crap doesn't get all over them. And everything in front of this, I'm trying to get taped off. Just so, in case I do use, you know, I'm gonna probably use the TIG welder, but if I use the MIG welder, I wanna make sure it's covered up because it'll leave little cherries all over the place and burn the paint and chrome and whatever. It's the same kind of thing we do like when we have a motorcycle in here. We tape up everything so we don't scratch it or get welding cherries on it or whatever. So this whole piece is moved over like 1/8 of an inch, and I can get it to push over, but it's not fitting right because the lip is kind of tweaked up right here a little bit. So I've got to hammer this thing. I'm gonna move this tripod on the other side so you guys can see a little bit better. So that way my arm's not in the way. Because I'm sure some asshole on YouTube will be like, "Hey, your arms are in the way. You can't see nothing." Freaking whiny ass bitches. It cracks me up, some of the freaking comments you get on YouTube. I think a lot of people, they go on there and just bitch, just a bitch. Makes me laugh. I'm like, well then go find another freaking channel to watch. Some freaking wackadoodle. We did our magnet video the other day about blowing the magnets off. And they were saying that we should put the magnets out in our garden and blow them off so that the iron off the magnets. They were saying that we should put our magnets in the garden so we could blow our magnets off and blow all that iron off into the garden so it reproduces into plants and flowers. And I'm like, psycho. Alrighty then. That just cracked me up. I was like, good gravy. And like I said, it doesn't matter what you do, somebody's gonna bitch about it, you know. And you guys obviously see I really care. But I did get a kick out of that comment that I'm talking about. That one made me laugh. When I read it, I about spit my coffee out. See, this one spot keeps popping up right here. Yeah, that's matched up pretty good right there. So I'll go ahead and get this cleaned up with a die grinder. Wear safety glasses, don't be a dumbass. So I got to grab a die grinder with a bit in the end, and I got to try to grind that out a little bit because below this weld, let me shut this off and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I got all this taped off so I won't, mess up nothing. But see, the problem is I can get all that right there, so it'll weld from here to here. But see right there where all that paint is, right down in there, that's a low spot. This is high, that's low. So I gotta, man, this thing's not focusing too good on this. There you go. So where that yellow paint is, I gotta get that ground out so that it welds, both these sides. And this is, you can see it's kind of kicked over. See how this edge is? And then it's sticking out here. So I gotta get it to pull over like this. I gotta hammer it over, but anyways, it needs to move over about whatever that is, about 1/8 of an inch or whatever it is. So I can weld all the way across there and then grind that down without it breaking again. But I think I'm gonna do this with a MIG, not even mess around with the TIG. I need a nice big fat weld in there, and I'll grind right in there, so that it goes to that collar underneath this. Because there's a collar that it welds to underneath this deal, and that collar, the collar, that steering rod runs right through the center of that collar. So, and I think what happened is when somebody welded this a long time ago, see, this is actually welded here, but it's ground down. And what happened is they, ground too far through it, and then it just ended up cracking. So I'm gonna use, where'd it go? Oh, right here. I'm gonna use the die grinder. I'll use this bit and get in there and, chew that out of there, get it cleaned up, and then I'll get it welded. Go for it. The main stuff I was worried about is that yellow paint crap that was on there,
Right.
I'll get the welder over here though. Before you paint it, you mean?
Yeah.
Turned out good. We just got to get back to work because Heidi's here now. Looks nice. Playing with go-karts, huh? Mm-hmm. No, that was a fun project.